Alicia. I'm Alicia, a context-led women's holistic wellness practitioner, and this is where we get real about what it truly takes to feel well mentally, physically, and emotionally. Okay, all. The other day I was scrolling through LinkedIn, like you do, and I came across a clip of an older gentleman talking about the fact that we tend to, for some reason, compare ourselves to others. And he was talking about the impact of that and the how dangerous it was, actually. And I wholeheartedly agreed with him. However, I wanted to go a little bit deeper on that. I felt like he could have sort of unpacked a little bit more around it, but he didn't, so I thought I would. And yes, we compare ourselves. Most of us do every single day, often without even realizing we're doing it. But the deeper question, excuse me, the deeper question is, what if we have actually been programmed to compare ourselves? What if the choices we're making, the way we sort of see ourselves, the standards we're trying to meet aren't even like coming from us? What if they are placed there quietly, and sort of over time, through everything we've been exposed to, everything we've absorbed, everything we've been told about who and what we should be? Now, to me, that's a much more interesting conversation, and the one that I want to have today. Think about the, let's see, the fashion industry and the fitness industry and the beauty industry. These industries have spent sort of decades and decades shaping what we believe beauty looks like, what a woman's body should look like, what size, what shape, what is considered desirable, what's healthy, what's worthy. And over time, many of us have taken those ideas on board as if they are our own. You know, as if we woke up one day and decided, this is what we believe. This is what I believe. You know, we absorbed it. And it's gradually through images and messaging and trends and what's celebrated and what's criticized. So here's the real question. When we compare ourselves to other women, when we look in the mirror and feel like something's not quite right, is that coming from our own truth, or is it coming from how close or how far we are from the idea of beauty that someone else has constructed entirely? For a lot of women, it's the latter. And when that is the case, the work that we need to do is not what we think it might be. This is exactly why, as a context-led wellness practitioner, I cannot look at a woman in isolation. I have to look at what's surrounding her, what she's living inside of every single day, responding to, and what she's been shaped by. That is the foundation of my model, precision context model. The woman is at the center of this model, always there, the focus. Then we look at the biological and the psychological responses that's coming from her. Then we look at the context, everything around her, her environment, her influences, what's happening within her world. And then the outer circle is where we offer support and care, and whatever modality works for her. And we cannot offer real support to a woman without first understanding what she is actually living inside of. Excuse me. Right, so let me paint a picture for you. Okay, so we have a woman, right? She's a size 14, and listen, this is very common. This is a very common story. I'm sure you've all heard this story from someone. But yeah, unfortunately, this is very common amongst women, especially in 2026. So we have a woman, she's a size 14. She's healthy. She feels good in her body. She is active. She is functioning. She is eating well. She is full of energy. By most measures, she's doing well. And yet she has this feeling that she's too big. She feels that she's a size 14, and that is unacceptable. So she wants to change that. So she decides she wants to start taking a GPL-1 and a GI, and she wants to lose weight. She wants to get down to that size 8, that magical number that's fixed in her head. 8 is the number. 8 is where she needs to be, and 8 is the ideal. So she goes ahead, she starts taking it, she starts doing the work around it. But here is what I want to ask: where did that come from? Where did she get that idea, the idea that a size 14 is not the size for her? And where did she get the idea that the size 8, the number 8, that size 8 is the goal? That is what women should be. Do you honestly think that she sat down one day on her own and came to that conclusion by herself? Or do you think she has been gently and subtly, consistently influenced over time to believe that that is the ideal? Which of those do you believe? That is the real question, and I want us to really think about that, ponder on that. And this is where my work comes in. If she came to work with me, the first thing I would want to understand is where that belief is coming from. Is it genuinely hers? Does she feel in her own body and in her own truth that something is not working for her? Is that a real health conversation to be had? If there is, we have that conversation fully, honestly, and in complete context of our life. But if what she is actually what's actually happening is that she has spent most of her life absorbing messaging that tells her a size 14 body is not enough, that smaller is better, that an 8 is the goal, and that has settled deep into her mind as though it's her own thought, then the work is completely different. The work is not about her body at all. It's about really digging deep as to where that belief came from and asking honestly, is this mine? Or does this belong to someone else's idea of who I should be? These are two completely different starting points. And this goes much further than body image. You know, that is just one example. We've been told that 3 meals a day is the right way to eat for every woman, everybody, every lifestyle. We have been told that 9 to 5 generally is what productive life looks like. We have been told what success looks like, what a good mother looks like, what a healthy woman looks like, what happiness looks like. And after years and years of receiving those messages, we have stopped questioning whether any of it actually fits us. We just try to live up to it, you know, get on with it. And when we cannot quite get there, we feel like we're failing. Like, you know, when we actually were, when it was actually never our problem. You know, it was never we are never the problem. The framework was never ours to begin with. This is what I mean when I say, or when I talk about living in somebody else's mind. We are acting out a set of ideals that were handed to us, and we are experiencing the physical and emotional consequences of that misalignment every single day, often without making the connection. And here is why this really matters deeply from a wellness perspective. When a woman is constantly trying to live up to a standard, okay, beauty standard, fitness standard, fashion standard, that was never hers, her body responds to that. It creates stress, internal conflict, a kind of quiet disconnect from herself. Over time, that shows up physically in her hormones, in her sleep, in her energy levels, in how she feels when she wakes up in the morning. I call it a dis-ease, not an illness necessarily, but a discomfort, a misalignment, that feeling that something does not quite fit, even when you cannot put your finger on it exactly, about what it is. So many women carry that for years without ever tracing it back to a real source, which is that she has been trying to exist inside a framework that was never built for her specifically. It was built for the idea of her. So what does real work look like? It starts with slowing down enough to actually hear yourself, not the version of you that has absorbed everything around you, the real you underneath all of those layers. It starts with journaling, maybe with reflection, with asking yourself honest questions and being willing to hear the honest answers. Look at choices you are making about your body right now, the way you think you should eat, the size you think you should be, the way you think you should look, and ask yourself honestly and genuinely, where is this coming from? Is this mine? Or has this been fed to me so consistently and for so long that it simply feels like mine? A lot of women carry a lot of things that women carry aren't actually theirs. And the moment you start to recognize that, that's when change can begin. This is real work, the real work of wellness, not just changing what you eat or how you move, but going deep, going deeper. That going deeper, that's asking who I am, going deeper into yourself and stripping away everything, I've been told or I should be. Am I making choices from the place, or am I making choices from a place that was handed? Are you making choices from you, what you ultimately feel comfortable with and feel in alignment with, or are you making choices based on what everything around you says you should be? Wellness at its truest level is about alignment. Okay, it's about truth. It's about coming back to yourself fully, honestly, and understanding that so much of what you have been carrying was never yours to carry in the first place. So this week, look at just one area of your life, one choice you have been making about your health and your body, your well-being, and ask yourself honestly whether it is truly coming from you, or can you link it to something that you have been told you should be. Your body already knows the answer. It always has. And I will always come back to that truth. Your body is truth. Your body knows what is right for you. And it's really about working with your body and where you are as a woman in context to your life. That is your wellness. That's your wellness journey. Your life and how wellness looks in context to your life. Okay? So that's it for today. If this episode resonates with you, please share. And until next episode, real talk, real wellness, always.